Sacramento.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from New York.
Yeah, you can come up. Yeah.
Moved here
I'm
when I
glad you
turned
showed up.
14.
Where you been? Where did you go?
Gotcha.
Okay.
You're muted.
Met Claude in 93
In New York or here?
here.
I thought you were closer to Sacramento. I was going to ask you if you knew this real estate investor up in the Sac area.
No, but do they still have Tommy's Burgers up there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Never been there.
I was about 30 years ago. I was there, and it was like a really good burger.
Oh,
Morning.
yeah.
You talk, David. It's what is it? 9 o'clock in California. You talking about food already?
No, he's asking me about Sacramento, and I'm like, I remember this great hamburger place there called Tommy's Hamburgers or something.
Well, good. I love talking about food, but we got other things. What do we want to talk about today? I'm a New Yorker. It always comes back to me. What do we want to talk about today? Making money, having fun in business, communication, marketing, all kinds of things, don't we?
Yes.
Absolutely. Anybody have something they can't wait to share? I'll give you guys the floor real quick here.
I can share that Saturday, I completed a consultation for a homeowner investor to sell their property to their tenant. And so got paid on Sunday for that.
You made money. Wait a second. You made money on a Sunday. I thought you're a minister or something like that. Isn't that a go against the code or something?
No, I'm still a pastor. Don't pastor a church at this time, but or a rabbi, you could say. Being Jewish, I guess I could be a rabbi.
Oh.
I mean, let's check your Let's see the circumcision. Come on.
Not on video.
Okay.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
That's a different show, I think.
And it is a different show. We're not going to go there.
No.
On a side note, I do work for tips. Oh, God, did he really say that? Everybody's coming in. You guys, so congratulations. Seriously, Robert, congratulations. I'm really big on using your natural resources, making money on your time, knowledge, and energy.
Yeah.
Why not? It's great. It's a good feeling. You're helping another person. And as it builds your confidence and as you learn more, you charge more. And you have another passive income.
Can I ask you a question regarding that?
Well, I don't know. Go ahead.
So right now I charge $1,500 or 1% of the sale price. Do you feel that's reasonable for consultating?
I don't know. What's the value? I'll turn this around on you. Okay, I'm a Socratic teacher. How should we always answer a question, my gut salespeople?
With a question.
With another question. Just blend it with stroking and nurturing because it gets annoying. They ask you gee, what flavor ice cream you like? I don't know. Why did you ask that? And you go back and forth. It can be annoying, right? Yeah. So you have to do it in a certain way. What is the value? Here's the question for you, Robert. What is the value you are giving that person? Are you helping them save money or avoid legal expense? Or what's the value if you can monetize it to that person, or peace of mind? Or what are you giving in terms of return value?
It's a great question. So what I'm giving them is peace of mind, knowing that it's all done legally, that all the documents are prepared for them, that I'm even helping them to negotiate in a way that their buyer will be receptive to the offer without much negotiation at all.
If they paid a real estate agent or an attorney or another investor to get involved in it, what would that have cost them if we can monetize that?
Sure,
Round
that would
numbers.
be a minimum of 3 to 6% for a realtor.
And how much is that equal to?
3 to 6% of, in this case, it was 180,000. So that would be approximately $7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
And how much if you don't mind, you don't have to, how much did you charge?
Just 1%.
which is equivalent to $1,800.
Correct.
Mhm.
So you help them to save thousands of dollars, but
Yeah.
you only charge under $2,000. So you gave them good value, right?
Yes.
I would believe so.
Okay. And the next person who comes to you and you're going to save them 20,000, let's say, would it be unreasonable for you to give yourself a raise and make $2,500? Is that reasonable?
That would be reasonable.
So what's my point?
The point is to just continue to create more value for what I bring to the table and what I bring to the client.
Can I have an amen from the audience, Pastor?
Plus,
Yes,
plus he
amen.
gave them salvation.
Yes, yes.
Hey, and by the way, I think that the Jews started that before Socrates.
Asking questions.
Yes.
Oh,
Good
God.
question.
Questions are good. Socrates is very interesting. I've been doing a lot of studying on it. He felt it was, why do you think and we did this a couple of weeks ago. Why is asking questions better in business than giving a prayer? We'll talk about that too, because I have a neat little presentation. But why is it better? Any teachers in the audience? Anybody teacher? Why is it better to get your class or your prospects emotionally involved in the conversation rather than a lecture? Go ahead, Jessica.
To create interaction and, stimulation to be responding and stuff.
Right.
Participation.
Yeah, participation. Thank
That's
you,
the word.
Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monday.
you're all right. Do we all remember that one great teacher in elementary, junior high school, middle school, high school, college? That one great teacher. What did that teacher do that we loved that class? It wasn't a bore fest. What did that teacher
My
do?
history teacher came dressed up as the characters in history.
Okay. Okay. So that teacher was entertaining. What else? And just sticking on the topic though, that great teacher. I remember Mr. Hart in junior high school 52 in Upper Manhattan. Mr. Hart was the most wonderful teacher because he'd pick a topic and he'd interact with the class and we all participate. I've never seen 45 minutes go like that because of that great team. And is that a good way to do business and market with people, interact with them? Just make sure you get to the point.
Yes.
And something comes of it that's practical for you. Very good, very good. Thank you, Robert. Congratulations on your consulting. Let's do. Who wants to hear the news? We started doing the news last week. You guys like the news?
Oh, by the way, it wasn't Socrates that created Socratic selling. It was his Jewish mother-in-law.
No, it was Plato. Actually, and it was made popular by Plato. Yeah. Would you guys like the news or?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, good, good. We have a little real estate news here
Okay.
in our own usual and my usual style. Can you guys see the screen here?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. Real estate
Oh.
news. You cannot? Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I heard someone say no. A new cryptocurrency was created today by well-known gurus, and they're all coming out with something new called the Bernie coin. Okay, or the B coin. You guys have heard of NFTs and everything. At its core, the Madoff scheme depended on a simple idea. As long as you can keep new investors coming in, bless you. I suggest you hit your mute though. Coming in and old ones from cashing out, you can make an illusion seem real. And that, as it turns out, is the same idea that has animated a host of speculative frenzies in the past year. The boom in so-called meme stocks, non-fundable tokens or NFTs, and cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin are in some sense legal Ponzi schemes writ large, in which the value of the underlying asset is nothing more than a wager that new money will be coming into that market. So the Bernie coin is coming out. That's a joke, okay? By the way, you guys know my sense of humor. Have you guys heard of NFTs, by the way? Okay. A lot of people, Gary Vaynerchuk even came out with his own NFT. They're only worth money if somebody else buys it from you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like a house, okay, or a car, which has tangible value. So there's a lot of gurus and people coming out with it, but
Yeah.
Sean, you got to learn that mute button one of these days. But you got to learn that there's somebody's trying to make money off you every day. As long as we're talking about that, I am coming out with my collection of Boohoo tissues, which it's a limited organic artwork investment of my Boohoo tissue boxes. It's in crypto NFT technology. Just go to my webpage, oneisborneveryminute.com. Okay, guys?
Just in time for Halloween. Boohoo
Just in
tissues.
time, my Boohoo tissue collection. Okay, in more news, let's go to California. Los Angeles beachfront home goes for $5.2 million, but it has a view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Only if you turn it the other way.
Well, it saves you a trip on having to go inside. Outdoor plumbing.
Oh, so we should turn probably if you put that on the market, someone would buy it probably, wouldn't they?
Oh my gosh.
It's a granny flat.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of it, Walmart is getting into residential retail with rentals with cardboard boxes right behind the building there. Yes, cardboard boxes. That one didn't do as well.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, in a huge victory for pets' rights, California, possible recall, Governor Newsom has suspended all evictions to cat and chihuahua owners. Here's a home.
Boy.
Here's a home I found in the UK. The lady died, and they found 80 chihuahuas in her home.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. In the Daily Mirror, huh? That's not the best quality newspaper.
Yes. Speaking of it, also animal rights, the new groundbreaking in the doghouse law was passed in Rancho Cucamonga last week, allowing new liberalization of tiny home rentals. Of course, only doggy coin will be accepted for these rentals.
Oh.
And finally, Governor Cuomo has a new job. He's been hired by Sandals Resort. They announced that former Governor Cuomo has been hired in his new career as Employee Human Resource Advisor. And that is the real estate news as we know it today.
Oh.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Anyway, a little fun in the news there and stuff like that. Open forum time. Anybody else have something, a question or something they want to share? Otherwise, we'll go into our presentation. Did anybody have a success story or learn something last week? Anything good happened last week? Hervey?
Yeah, I think I got a deal, Claude.
Okay, turn on your video and tell us about it.
Okay, it's really dark.
And show us those 2-3 cats and dogs that you have there.
The doggy crossed the rainbow bridge, but I do have 2 cats. I don't know if there's one.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, there's 2.
There you go.
Yep.
You just missed the dog news that we did.
Oh no. So I started my new campaign, and looks like I got my first deal with that campaign. I mean, I've gotten other deals, obviously, but yeah, he's totally excited. We weren't sure whether or not we'd be able to actually save him money because some of the electric companies in North Carolina are not real solar friendly. It'll work, and he's super excited. So I'm just really jazzed. And it's a new company that I'm so excited about working with.
Okay. And what marketing method did you use to attract this prospect?
So it's called Solar Exclusive. And that's what I used with my first campaign with the other company. Now that said, Claude, what I've got now, this is crazy. They're starting this week. There's this guy, he sells appointments. They're guaranteed. He qualifies them. He does a soft credit check. He brings the electric bill, the shade report, and he guarantees that they're qualified and that they show up. And if they don't, he replaces them. And so I ordered 10 of those. And if this works out, that is a game changer, And what's really cool is this new company I'm with, this is like unheard of, but he said close, because I'm brand new with him. He said, close 2 deals. I'll buy the leads. He said, and the more deals you close, I'll just keep buying you leads. And he said, you don't have to split anything with me. You're not my meal ticket. It's kind of the opposite of my last company. So I'm just like,
so good for you. And you made some money with this prospect,
I'm
right?
gonna, yeah.
You're gone now.
Gone now.
But
Yeah,
not today. But not today. Not yesterday.
Don't worry. You get I get 100 per watt within a week, and then I have to wait until install, Claude. Totally
Okay.
sucks.
Okay, but you're doing something you enjoy, and the commissions are generous.
Love it.
Good for you. Who else has got something to share? Good for you, Marnie.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to share, Claude, but I got a question, or maybe a role play.
Uh-oh.
So you always first dimension price loses. And when we have a prospect who we're trying to get the number out, we're trying to get a number out of, we always want to go and try to get their number first. What are some of the ways that we could, if they don't want to get a number when we first ask, what are some other moves or ways that we can try to continue to draw a number out of them so that we can begin the negotiation?
Okay, good, fair question. The first dimension price we've always heard this, loses. It's great to have that hard information, the time frame, the decision making, the money, of course. Okay, it's better to talk about the money. We've said this multiple times in the beginning rather than in the middle or the end. Okay, because if someone says they don't have the money, they don't have the credit, they don't have the down payment, the option money or whatever, and you just gave this brilliant 2-hour presentation, how do you feel? How do you feel when you find out at the very end that there was no
Did you waste your time?
It's a waste of time. Absolutely. Having asked, the first dimension price always loses, but you can't keep going around and around. Somebody says, I don't know. Well, is it this much? You can switch to a multiple choice. Sometimes that works for me. Okay, quick role play with you, Chris. Chris, could you share with me in round numbers your budget? Just say, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, would you say it's 50,000, a 75 or 100,000 down payment? Round numbers, roughly.
Yeah, we really hadn't just thought about. I had to really get with my wife and kind of figure that out.
Okay, but
just been kind of wanted somebody to put something down. We've been trying to just see who's going to put the most down.
Okay, off the role play. Bottom line is give them a multiple choice sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people love multiple choice more than fill in the blank, just like in school. Yeah. So now you have to listen carefully sometimes, because one of my $10 words, obfuscation, they don't want to reveal how much is left on their mortgage or what their budget is or how much down payment there is. People hold their cards very close until you've established some kind of rapport with them, some credibility, right? We don't want to give does anybody give out their social security number to a stranger anymore? I mean, there was a time when we did all these things because it wasn't as many scams and things like that. So people don't even want to give out their email anymore, much less their phone number or personal information. So establishing that, that credibility that we always talk about with finesse is important. If they're going to change the subject, they're going to hide the information or obfuscate it, you have to ask it in different ways. Okay. Mr. Cash Offer, could you just help me? Do you have any money available? If you found the right property that fulfilled your needs, would you have any money available right now to do that deal?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And round number, that's money you have in savings or on a MasterCard or in your mattress, or you're going to rob the 7-Eleven. Could you share that with me, sir? Don't say so. Don't say rob the 7-Eleven.
We have that in our checking. We've been saving up for it.
Okay. And which means?
Yeah, we have about roughly about 30,000.
Okay, and that's cash that's readily available. If you found the right deal, that's money you could put into escrow and with an attorney or in a safe place this week. Correct, sir?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. No.
Okay, good. Okay, off the role play. Don't move too far away until you take care of the money issue, because
Gotcha.
everything else is a waste of time, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the mistakes I've made in my career. I spent all this time with somebody, and then I found out there's no money. And you got to listen carefully, Chris, because sometimes they'll give you an answer, but they'll do, go ahead, Chris, ask me, I'll show you. They'll give you a wishy-washy word, but you guys will pick up right away. Go ahead, ask me about what's the balance on my mortgage or something like that.
Yeah, Claude, I'm curious. Just could you tell me, just round number, what's the balance of the mortgage? What's owed?
Gee, that's hard to say. It could be anywhere from 50,000 or so. I'm not sure, but it's probably right around there, something like that.
Okay.
I didn't
You wouldn't happen to have a statement or anything available, would you?
Well, I'm not right on me right now. I'm in my car with the kids and everything like that. But I'm sure in the near distant future, I can get hold of that information for you. Off the role play, you got to listen to in the way they answer your questions. They might do it consciously. I think in many cases, they subconsciously do not want to reveal information, or they're lying. What do people do when they're lying? When you're listening really well, what do you hear?
They stumble or they pause.
They stumble, they pause. Yeah, they stutter sometimes. Okay. When they're caught, the deer in the headlights move. Okay. You've got to listen for these little clues. The trouble is sometimes when we get somebody on the phone and we're negotiating, do we get emotionally involved? We're human.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get emotionally involved. What happens when and the $1 million rule works in reverse against us when we get emotionally involved? What happens when we get, oh, I've got a hot one here, I don't want to rock the boat? And do we hear as well as we should? Do we listen as well when we start getting too emotional? No. And you've got to get and go back and keep asking that question, Chris, till you get satisfaction. And you might even say to them, I've had this back in the role play. You know, Chris, I've asked you this question about the money 2 or 3 times. Is there a reason you don't want to share that with me? Because I'd like to make you an offer today and do business with you, but I need to know more facts. Can you help me, or are we done?
Well, I really just like to get your offer. I'd like to just get a number out of you. If that's possible.
And I want to make an offer, and I want to help you solve this problem so you can buy a home, sell a home, invest in a home. But I need to know the mortgage balance. I need to know the down payment, the option money, what kind of rent you can afford. And I've asked you this now 4 times, Chris. It leads me to believe we have a problem. Why do I feel that way?
Well,
you hear that off the role play? Did you hear that wonderful silence? Even in role playing, he's thinking of some bullshit to say right now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's thinking, oh shit, he caught me. I'm a deer in the headlight. And you gotta this is the clues you get in sales and in negotiation. You're looking, what do they call that? Who's a poker player here? Who knows poker? I have a poker question to ask. A little bit. Jessica, what professional poker players, don't they look for a movement or something? What do you call that? There's a word. What is it?
Called a tell.
A tell. Thank you. I knew a tell. When they're bluffing. Some people have an unconscious response, don't they? They do things on their nose, their ears, this and that. They blink a lot and stuff like that. Can we, if we're on video or in person with people, or even listening to the tonality of the words, are the words flowing, or are they, what's going on? These are all tells, aren't they? And even in sales, you can pick that up. This can make you a shrewd negotiator.
Have your poker face on.
You got to have your poker face on. You're playing. Remember, we're playing a role. In when we're negotiating, we play a role. We are responsible for creating that conducive environment to get what we want out of this real estate deal. if we just read a script, a boilerplate script, the same script all the time, do you think we can do all these things we've just talked about? I think they limit our ability, our skill set. These are $1 million skills, aren't they? This is what really successful people do. Great question. Anybody who else has a question, or did you want to follow up on that?
I kind of have a follow. I don't want to take up a lot of time. Asking the prospect, is that the best you can do? Like after we get a price out of them, how do you feel about asking them, is that the best you can do when we're trying to get them down or we know that we need them down, maybe 10, 20,000 more.
Is that the best you can do, Mr. Prospect? Is that your bottom line for us to do business today? Could you share that with me? Is that what's your rock bottom, sir, to do a deal today?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I am amazed. I've used this line for years, and I'm amazed. My own house in Colorado, the guy dropped $80,000 when I used that line. I'm still that is so much money in one breath. He dropped $80,000 just because I asked. I don't think we ask enough. Right. Do you think that, is that the best you could do? Oh, I was thinking 250, Chris, and you want 300, right? That's your rock bottom. Is there any room in the middle here?
Man, we really were wanting to get that. I maybe 270.
How about we split the difference? You want 300, I want 250. I was going to say 275, split the difference. You just dropped another $5,000. Okay, boom. Just split the difference. There's a book who Mr. Voss wrote, Never Split the Difference. I use that as a second or tertiary negotiation tactic all the time, especially when you're dealing in a cash deal. Or you're negotiating with someone, sir, I appreciate that. Always stroking and nurturing through the whole pattern. Oh, that's so great. Really enjoy talking with a sophisticated businessman like yourself, Chris. Thank you and everything. Listen, the number in my head here was 250, and you said 275. We couldn't meet in the middle, could we? And get a deal, and I'll send you a contract right now. How do you feel about that? That isn't something we could do, is it? That isn't something we can do. See the negative redirection?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
See how sometimes if you slide it in so they don't consciously hear what you're saying, but subconsciously they respond. Could we split the difference, Chris?
Well, that's going to be tough, man. We really need to get that number.
I know. And then off the role play, you go back to your 3 to 6 needs and greeds. You bring back that emotional catalyst, those triggers. You told me you got to be in Texas by September 15th. You've got to buy another home. You've got to enroll the kids in school. You start the new job. Your wife's got interviews and everything. Wow. It's for a few $1,000s difference in our price. You could have that all behind you. Can you imagine that for a moment, that you go to your wife tonight at dinner, say, honey, let's open up a bottle of wine. I got the deal done. It's not the price we wanted, but we can move forward now, order the moving van, get down there, get the kids in school and everything. Could you imagine? You say, what does that smell? Does that smell like freedom to you?
Yes. I like that.
We got a deal. I'm sorry, what?
We got a deal.
Oh, you're a gentleman, sir. Thank you. It's the nuances. It's these little bitty moves sometimes that make all the difference between a profitable deal and just, I'll think about it. Call me in 2 weeks and all that stuff. It's one phone call. You can have a great deal of success in your negotiation skills. Good stuff today. Really good stuff today. Who else? Anybody else I want to go to the presentation here. Anybody else have something to share or a quick question? Okay, crickets. That's crickets. Let's go. Let me go to my share screen here. Let me know if you can see my screen okay. Yes, you can. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is sales dangerous?
Yes.
Why is sales so dangerous? Why is it? What do I mean when I say danger? What do I mean by that?
No.
Gotta take risk.
Gotta take risks.
Gotta ask those questions.
Ask those questions. What's one of the biggest risks? Why do we have those risks? Is it natural? It is natural to feel fear in sales. It's your choice to acquiesce or fight it. If you capitulate, however, you are its prisoner forever. If you can control your fear, you can control your life. Why is fear such a big factor in sales? Why do we have fear? I've had fear in sales. Anybody ever have, I'll use another word, a $10, anxiety. Anybody ever have anxiety in sales?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we have this?
Rejection.
Talk, what's that rejection? Does anyone here love rejection? I've gone to motivation seminars. You listen, you knock on 100 doors. I remember a guy said, you knock on 100 doors. And if 100 people say no, you knock on another 100 doors. Sure. That goes in my guru bullshit department. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that like, knocking on doors all day? And I respect people who work hard and really go out there and do that kind of marketing and stuff. But that kind of people, with the dogs barking and they come to the door with a shotgun or something. I mean, there's fear in sales. Mostly rejection fear though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that. The unexpected rejection by another human being. Is that powerful emotionally to us going out there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. How come some people can get past that though? They can get on the phone and make a lot of phone calls, talk to people. How come some people can do that?
See it as a challenge.
I like that answer. See it as a challenge. That's excellent. See it as a challenge.
I agree with that. I think it's like the same thing that she said, but the abundance mindset. You know that you'll get through that and find somebody who will do a deal with you.
Yeah. And when you get to that yes, and you make some money off the sweat off your brow, how does that feel when you finally get there? Do we forget all the fear and all the negative stuff when we finally make an honest buck?
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about consistency. We talk a lot about skill set. We also talk a lot about warm calls versus cold calling or obscure. I mean, to me, cold calling, a lot of the marketing and cold calling is like going to a graveyard and writing down the names of the people on the tombstones. I mean, those are really cold calls. Okay. That's the kind of marketing I think they sell to a lot of people. You're naturally going to get tons of rejection. Even if you have a nice lady in the Philippines making you appointments and stuff. I think we need quality leads. We've talked a lot about that. Let's go back here. Anybody else? Okay. Give prospect presentations quickly, true or false? Interesting question. Should we give those presentations quickly? We get somebody.
False.
Why?
You can't present if you don't know what you're present or know what they need in order for you to present.
Gee, I don't understand that. Somebody help me out. You get a prospect who's warm, says, gee, who's live here? You guys are hiding on me. Jessica, I'll put you on the hot seat, Jessica, because you're so brave. Jessica, hi, I saw your webpage. I got your flyer. And I'm so excited about your environmentally recyclable used vacuum cleaner bags. Could you tell me everything I didn't want to know about dirty used vacuum cleaner bags? Do you want to do that? Do you want to tell me all about your what would the amateur do, Jessica? With a prospect like that?
Rabbit on for ages. Rabbit on.
Our company was started on a wagon train millions of years ago before. Right? And they'll give you all that. And then the prospect says, oh, thanks for the information. They ask you a few questions. Who's in control?
They are.
They are. How do you, in the beginning of meeting a prospect on the phone, on Skype, in person, anywhere, Zoom, how do you keep their interest, gain their respect, and lead and get them emotionally involved? Here, I'll draw you a clue. I'm in a drawing mood today. Whoops.
Ask questions. Ask them questions.
No matter what they do, when they come to you in the beginning,
Okay.
give them a stroke. Oh, thank you for calling. Oh, I'm glad. Oh, I'd be glad to answer all your questions. And you go right
Okay.
into your agenda. Say, can I ask you just one or two things here so I don't want to sell you something you don't need or make it pay too much for something,
Okay.
and everything.
Yes.
You don't mind, do you, Ms. Stokes, if I just ask those a couple of quick questions? I want to make sure you get the right product, or, this is,
Right.
maybe you don't even need what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that all right with you if I do that? And then you can ask me some questions. And if we can do business, wonderful. That's how I take care of my kids and help you to solve the problem at the same time. But if not, you can tell me bye-bye. You don't have to say, I'll think about it or any of that. Is that all right? A little bit of, I wanted to paint a little roadmap for us.
Ask away. Ask away.
What
Okay.
did I just gain in that one move? That's the agenda step. What did I gain in that one move?
You gained like trust, and you gained confidence from them that you want to serve them and please them the right way.
Yeah, it sets up a whole different environment for them. But the amateur would go right into the presentation. So no premature presentations. Really a pretty important rule, actually.
Okay.
Let's go in there. Let's go. Oh, gut salespeople are professional therapists, psychologists, and thespians. That's a lot of stuff. Therapists help people as well as psychologists, and a thespian is an actor. Why do we have to play so many roles here? I love this picture of Freud here on the bottom. Freud felt that we all had a little Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
Okay. Who remembers Robert Williams? I really miss Robert Williams. I was so sad when he died and everything. And Robert Williams used to have this one line. He'd say, Oedipus Schmedipus, Mom, I love you. Look up Oedipus. It's an interesting story. Absolutely. Why do we talk about being a therapist or a psychologist and also an actor? Why do we have to play these roles? Why are roles so conducive to persuading people?
Great question.
What do you mean? Why do we have to play these roles?
So that they're comfortable.
Go ahead.
So they've got to be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Comfortable with you. Could you elaborate on that? What do you mean?
Yeah, people are more inclined to do business with you if they relate to you, they trust you, likability, sameness, the stuff that he talks about.
Yeah. What is the doctor or a lawyer or a professional, a person that you come to for advice or treatment or something? Do they just rush you on the table, or do they right away? What is we all call ourselves professionals. What does a true professional do when you come in for the first time to their office or meet them with a problem? What does your doctor do? It's my favorite analogy.
Like they investigate.
A doctor can't treat you until they know what the problem is, right?
Yeah.
Can a lawyer represent you? How about an accountant you want to save money on your taxes? What does an accountant have to, any accountants in the room here? What does an accountant have to do?
See your tax returns.
Yeah. Ask you what your profession is, what you do. Are you incorporated and things like that? They have to ask questions. So we've got to play that role.
Okay.
What's the tenets of the guts philosophy? My kids used to go to Taekwondo. Anybody here ever get involved in the Asian arts or anything like that? And they had on the wall these tenets in Taekwondo. Wonderful Asian philosophies, by the way: courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and this is my favorite one: indomitable spirit. Great stuff. What's some of the tenets of the guts philosophy that we talk about? I'll go back to my list here in a second. What are some of those fun things we say? How about the
It's okay
salesman?
to-
Go ahead.
It's okay to fire the client.
It's okay to fire the prospect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would you want to fire a prospect, though? That doesn't make any sense.
When they're wasting time, when they don't have the character to make a decision, they're trying to get free information.
Right. Do we meet people like that? They want free information. They don't, not ready to make a commitment. They're not emotionally involved. The EQ, the emotional quotient, that's that scale 1 through 10, where we have to get them up to an 8, 9, or 10. And if they stay at a 2, 3, or 4, what's the likelihood of doing a deal with them today? How much resources should we invest? Yeah. Anybody here? I didn't see a screen before. Anybody here involved in the Asian arts or anything? It's wonderful. Taekwondo, Robert, isn't that great stuff? Indomitable spirit. Don't you love that? I think that's just so great. Successful people have that, definitely. Let's, we're in business to make money, get a commitment, a contract, or get out today. There is no tomorrow, only today in business. That's a little forceful, huh? If you want, Harry Truman said this, if you want a friend in Washington, get a dog. If your life stinks, my mentor used to always say, if your life stinks, it's your fault. Impatience is a virtue. You can disagree with, you can disagree with anything I say here. This is very subjective. These are some of the things I believe. I think impatience is a virtue. This goes directly against Gary Vaynerchuk, for those of you who, and I like him and I've read his books, but he says you got to be real patient, real patient. I've been awfully patient, and it didn't help pay the bills. Do you think we can be a little impatient with prospects?
Yes.
Okay, to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, what are we supposed to, I've said this the last 2 meetings on Monday. You're in a room full of executives. You've been invited to give a presentation. What's the first thing you should say?
Why am I here?
Why am I here? What would we like to accomplish today?
Mhm.
What is the purpose of this meeting? What is your biggest challenge? Can we get right to the point?
Mhm.
Okay, this is when my New Yorker comes out. New Yorkers tend to get right to the point. They don't dilly-dally around very much. They get right. And I kind of like that in a business situation. What do you guys think? Do we have to do all the schmoozing and the rapport and the bonding and tell all the football stories? Do we really have to do that all the time? Or can we get right to the point?
Yes, we get to the point
Yeah.
and then elaborate after if it's going forward.
You go to buy a car. What's the one thing most people have in their mind when they're going to buy a car?
Price.
Yeah. You think that's an acceptable general acknowledgement, right? Most people want to know, can I afford it? How much down payment?
Yeah.
Things like that. Do you think a good salesperson would talk about the money and stuff like that right away? Maybe it'll be more, maybe it'll be less.
Yeah.
Maybe they can direct them to a different product that fits their budget or something like that.
Yeah.
This is why qualification, setting that agenda and getting to the qualifications, step number 2, is so important when communicating with people. We can do a little bit of bonding and rapport. We're not, we're human beings. We can say something funny or something like that.
Yeah.
But can we be a little impatient with somebody? I've spent way too much time with some people on the phone.
Mm.
And there was never a snowball's chance to do the deal with them.
Mm. Yeah.
I like this little cartoon here. Why are you the wisest man, Socrates, the father of question-based selling? Because I know one thing, that I know nothing. What's my favorite 3 words in sales?
I don't know.
Ask me a question and then ask me a question and I'll show you how to utilize the I don't know. Or who's going to be my role play person? Ben? Ask me a question.
Claude, when do you need to be out of the building? When do you absolutely need to be handing over the keys and moved out?
I don't know. I never thought of that. Do you think that's important? I mean, are you looking for this building at a certain time and date? Is that what
we are.
Could you could you roughly share that? Are we talking September, October, November, this year, next year?
Middle of October would be optimum for us.
Middle of October. Okay, that's coming real fast. So if we could move out of this building and turn it over to your company on or before October 15th, that isn't what we're discussing today, is it?
That is in fact what would be optimum for us. We are, as you know, we're upgrading. We need a larger space. Business is good for us, and we need to keep rolling. And being where we are is really holding us back.
That's great. How much information do you get by leading into a question? I don't know. Good question. Glad you brought it up. You must have asked that for a reason. Could you share that with me? Why is that important to you? You're not asking about time frame or moving in. What can you do with an I don't know? What do you force the prospect to give you?
Information.
Good information. How important is it to get that information from the actually, and I should have put this in the guts philosophy, it should be in there. Make the prospect into the salesperson. What did Ben just do in that little mini role play? He gave me information. He told me his company needs a building, October 15th. He gave me the date and everything like that. What does that mean about his motivation level?
He's motivated.
Yeah, tells me a lot about him. Absolutely. Let's go to another screen here. A sales conversation with a prospect. This is going to be controversial. I don't know the right. Everybody has their own right and wrong answer to this one. A sales conversation with a prospect is a place to get your emotional and ego needs met. True or false? I've heard both sides of this. Is sales a conversation to get your, what do we mean by emotional needs met?
True.
What?
True.
True?
I'm gonna answer true.
True and false.
True. I've had long discussions with people on, a lot of sales trainers have said, no, sales is just a place to go to the bank. Sales is just the place to make money. Sales is not a place to build up your ego and to feel full about yourself. But then the other side of me, says, you know what? When I make a sale, I feel pretty darn good about myself. I love making this. How many people here have had almost a form of being high? When you made a sale, when you got that check, when you got that contract, tell me how good that felt.
Right.
Okay.
Endorphin rush.
Is anyone here addicted to that feeling of making money in business?
Yes.
Is that an ego stimulant?
Yes.
Yes.
You better believe it is. But is that why is that why we go into business, or is that just a residual side effect? What's the primary purpose of business?
Making money.
Amen.
Making service, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting, anybody else? Come on. I don't know if there's a true or false on this thing. I think it can be both. Go ahead, Robert.
Can I share a real quick situation that kind of
Sure.
speaks into this?
Sure.
So I represented the seller. I bought this house from this couple, and then I turned around and I sold it to another couple. And so the couple that were buying it wanted to get in immediately. And I said, and they actually knew the sellers that I bought it from. So they were like, well, we're going to help the sellers move out so we can get in quick. And so we're going to do whatever we can. So they helped them move out, and they were all ready to move in. They wanted the keys, and they kept texting me and asking me if they could just grab the keys from my seller. And I never responded. So when I got there, I actually turned to them and the wife seller to me and the wife buyer came out and we greeted one another. And then I turned to the seller and I said, "You're greedy." I turned to the buyer and I said, "You're greedy." I said, "So therefore I get to be greedy." I told him, "I want to be here to see the joy and satisfaction of you, Miss Buyer, getting the keys to your house instead of just saying, sure, go ahead, transaction between the two of you." And so I think that in some ways, yes, our emotional ego does want to be stroked.
How about a good story? Have you anybody ever been, the expression that comes to mind is cutting your nose to spite your face or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a situation where you were going to make some money and you really needed that sale, but you had a horrible person, a rude, just a horrible person to do business with? Have we all been in situation? I don't like this person, but I really need the money.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of hard sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
In business.
Sure.
Mhm.
That's kind of hard sometimes. But in the way we justify it in the end, if you make money and you make it honestly and ethically, even though you didn't like that prospect, okay, you win, don't you?
Mhm.
Because you don't have to socialize with that prospect after the deal is done. It's over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My mentor Max used to always say, sales is not a place to get your egotistical needs met. It's a place to go. It's a place to make money.
Mhm.
Very interesting topic. We could talk about that one for quite a while. Let me do a few more of these before we run out of time. Why are sales and objections closing commitment opportunities? Why are the stalls, the objections? Why do we look at it differently? Most people, when they get a stall or an objection, they get defensive, right? They go back into presentation modes. In guts, we do something different. Why is this an opportunity? When someone gives you a stall, okay, Bill Pinnell, can I use you today? Unmute yourself.
Sure.
What's a good stall or objection you've heard recently, Bill, or heard before?
I don't have the money right now.
Okay.
Mm, mm.
Okay. Good question. And I hope you found that out up front. So,
Yes.
Could you still get a commitment from that person and qualify them a little bit better, or get a follow-up date from them? So Bill, I don't have the money right now. You're a great guy, and I appreciate the lattes and the steak dinner and driving me all over the place. And you're a great guy, man. I just don't have the money right now.
Hey, I understand that, Claude. That's all right. Not a problem. I enjoy driving you all around.
No, you
Now, suppose you had the money.
I do it in a second. To be perfectly honest, my wife just bought 20 lottery tickets, and we really feel lucky this week.
Well, I could wait until Friday then to collect.
Okay, maybe that wasn't the best stall and objection role play.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
but we know this is a waste of time type of prospect.
Right.
They're lacking. You get people with silly answers and things like that. When they don't want to talk about the money, or they haven't planned for the money, but they're talking about buying a very expensive piece of property, they're financially immature. There's a reason why some people in society never move forward, never get it. There's
Right.
reasons for it. Somebody says to you, what's a good objection? Give me an objection.
Well, I'm working with another person right now.
Okay. Okay. Close me in 60 seconds or less. I'll use that. Well, I'm working with Jessica. She's with Remax, and but I really appreciate all the stuff you told me about. Sounds really good.
Okay, and Jessica, she sounds like a great person. Like she, probably doing. Let me ask you this. I mean, why are we here? Why are we talking today?
Well, the problem is I need, I need a place. My mother-in-law has sold her house and she's moving in with us. And she really needs her own place here, if you know what I mean.
I get it. I get it. No, absolutely. So just pretend for a second. If I'm able, if I move with light speed and you're comfortable with everything that we do, and I'm able to get this done before you get your grandmother into that position that,
Mother-in-law, and I'm going to interrupt you. Why? And this really happened. I have a friend who actually bought a home in La Jolla, very expensive area. He lived in La Jolla and he bought another home for his mother-in-law. Why did he do that? Okay. Go ahead, Rob, back in the role play. And just now you got a little bit of a clue. You got to be careful. This is a diplomatic kind of thing. But maybe you want to talk about privacy, quiet. Maybe she, things like maybe she's intrusive. Maybe she eats your food in the refrigerators. Get 5 or 6 things to get me to change over to you. That objection can be a closing opportunity. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Okay. So imagine for a moment if you were able to get your mother-in-law that place where she's no longer in your refrigerator, eating up you guys' food. You guys kind of had that privacy to walk around through the house, freely as you like. You don't have that eye kind of spying on you guys.
It's been a real problem. A lot of So you think you can get a home for me, and then can you get a home here before? Can we do a deal before September 15th? Listen to him struggle. He's doing this so good. Listen to that struggling.
If I say yes if I'm able to get you a home before the 16th, what would you say to me next?
I said I better tell Jessica, and you're the guy I got to do business with. Sorry, Jessica, I fired you. Okay. These are the different things here that we can, when they bring up a problem, we take those problems, turn them around, get more information, and maybe get those micro commitments. And if we can get them up to an 8, 9, or 10, like Chris did just now, your privacy, and everything else that are really important to me. The money's not an issue. You qualify for that. You can close that person right then and there, or at least get those little micro commitments that we always talk about. How do you make decisions? Are you the person who can make decisions? Do you have the money? Can you do this at such and such a date? We want those little baby step commitments, just like we're climbing up a ladder, because when we get to the top of the ladder, what do we get? The full commitment. And that's what we really want. We can do that in 1 to 2 phone calls. Get all that information, get that commitment, get another appointment, or fire the prospect. Absolutely. Good information today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Let me share something a little, something on a little different tack here. I've been here in North Carolina for about 3 months or so, and it's kind of a small town and community here. And was reading the newspaper yesterday. It's a small town in Pinehurst, and where is that? Let me get out of that. I had it here. I know. It's hard. It was a 23-year-old who was in the Army, was one of the people. I have the article, and maybe I'll post it in the Skype group. 23-year-old was one of the people killed in Afghanistan. Mm. And, you read the news, you see it on CNN and stuff, but then you find out it's a neighbor a mile away from where you're living, and a 23-year-old's life is gone and everything like that. Mm. And it's so sad. Mm. It's so sad. Sorry to be a downer here and everything, but I just wanted to share. And you get so remote, but then when something like that happens and it's right nearby and everything.
Hey, Claude, that's a really interesting coincidence, because one of the other kids that was killed was from Omaha.
Oh wow. Yeah.
22 years old.
Yeah, and
I'm
they
sorry,
are,
23.
it's those young people. I mean, you're young, wonderful Americans like that. And then the article said his wife, who's only 21, and she works in a local beauty parlor 2 miles away from where I live and everything. And it starts getting close to home,
Yeah.
and everything. Why am I sharing this today? Why am I doing this? Who's going to be my psychiatrist, my therapist? I think because it bothers me. It bothers me. So anyway, it's things happen in the world, and we have to acknowledge that other people are not always. We have a lot of fun here and everything, but maybe we have to acknowledge that other people
are less fortunate.
Say again.
That they're less fortunate than us.
They're less fortunate than us, and we should. I guess the word we're walking away from today is let's be grateful for everything and everyone we have in our world.
Mm.
Okay, sorry if I was a big downer here, but
When one suffers, we all suffer, I think, in a way, you know.
Mhm.
it's just so sad. I don't know the person or anything like that, but I don't know. My heart just goes out to when it gets that close to home,
Yeah.
you start to think about it a little bit.
Mhm.
Having that, you guys are great. I hope we had some fun today too. And listen, go out there, make some money, talk to people all day long. And I think I'll go out with a little appropriate song here. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Claude.
Yeah.
Great training today.
Bye.
Thank you. Everybody have a great week.